I need to tell you something that most travelers still do not know. The airport you walked through last year is not the same airport waiting for you today. The ID that worked fine in 2024 might now cost you $45 just to get through security. The rules about shoes, refunds, wheelchairs, even how Southwest boards passengers, all of it shifted. And the strangest part is how quietly it happened. No announcements on the evening news, no letters in the mail. Just millions of travelers showing up to airports and discovering everything had changed. I have been watching this unfold for months. I am Captain Jake, worked over a decade in commercial aviation, and right now, I need to walk you through every single change that affects elderly flyers heading into 2026. Some of these changes will make your life easier. Others could ruin your trip before it even starts. Let me begin with the one that is already causing the most problems: your driver license. You probably heard about something called Real ID years ago. The deadline kept moving. 2020. Then 21, then 23. Most people figured it would get delayed forever. It did not. On May 7th, 2025, TSA started enforcing the requirement. That standard driver license without a star in the upper corner? No longer accepted for domestic flights. Now here is where it gets worse. Starting February 1st, 2026, if you show up at a TSA checkpoint without a Real ID compliant license or another acceptable document like a passport, you face a brand new fee, $45. TSA calls it ConfirmID. You pay $45 and they attempt to verify your identity through their database. The process can take anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes, sometimes longer. And even after paying, there is no guarantee they will clear you. If verification fails, you are stuck outside security with no refund. This hits older travelers harder than anyone else. Many seniors renewed their licenses by mail for years. Quick, easy, no trip to the DMV. But those mail renewals often produce non-compliant licenses. The regular kind, without the star. Getting a Real ID is not simple either. You need to bring original documents to the DMV. Birth certificate proving citizenship, social security card, 2 documents showing your current address. If you changed your name through marriage or divorce at any point in your life, you need proof of every name change. Marriage certificates, divorce decrees, court orders. For someone who got married 60 years ago, finding that original marriage certificate can be genuinely difficult. My recommendation? Get a passport card. It costs around $65, fits in your wallet, works for all domestic flights. And the application process is often easier than gathering decades-old documents for Real ID. A passport card is good for 10 years, no renewal headaches during that time, and you never have to worry whether your state license meets federal requirements. Now let me tell you about a change that actually makes travel better. TSA eliminated the shoe removal rule. On July 8, 2025, Secretary Kristi Noem announced the end of a policy that frustrated travelers for nearly 2 decades. You no longer need to remove your shoes at security checkpoints. Think about what this means for someone with arthritis, or balance issues, or difficulty bending down. No more standing on one foot while pulling off shoes. No more walking barefoot across cold airport floors. No more juggling shoes, bags, belt, and boarding pass all at once. TSA says advanced scanning technology now allows them to detect threats without requiring shoe removal. Millimeter wave scanners are installed at over 380 airports nationwide. There are exceptions. If you trigger an alarm, or if the scanner detects something unusual, TSA officers may still ask you to remove your shoes for additional screening. But as a general rule, the awkward shoe shuffle is finished. For passengers 75 and older, TSA already provided some accommodations. Now those benefits extend to everyone. The security line moves faster. The process feels less like an obstacle course. This is a genuine improvement. But do not assume everything else stayed the same. You still need to remove laptops from bags at most checkpoints. The 3.4-ounce liquid rule still applies. Belts and jackets may still need to come off depending on the screening equipment at your specific airport. TSA says they are evaluating those policies over the next several months. We might see more changes. But for now, shoes are the only requirement that disappeared. Here is something that could put money back in your pocket. The Department of Transportation finalized rules requiring airlines to issue automatic refunds when flights go wrong. These rules took effect in late 2024 and continue into 2026. Let me explain exactly what you are entitled to. If your domestic flight is delayed 3 hours or more and you choose not to accept the rebooking, you get a cash refund, not a voucher, not airline credit, actual money returned to your original payment method. For international flights, the threshold is 6 hours. Airlines must process refunds within 7 business days for credit card payments, 20 calendar days for other payment methods. This also covers services you paid for but did not receive. You bought seat selection and they moved you? Refund. You paid for Wi-Fi and it did not work? Refund. Your checked bag arrives more than 12 hours late on a domestic flight. That baggage fee gets refunded automatically. The key word is automatic. Airlines are supposed to issue these refunds without you jumping through hoops. No endless phone calls. No paperwork battles. But I need to give you a realistic warning. Airlines do not always comply smoothly. Some will still push vouchers first. Gate agents are trained to offer credits because they cost the airline less than cash. You need to know your rights and insist on what the law requires. Document everything. Take screenshots of departure boards showing delay times. Keep your boarding pass. Save your original itinerary. Note the exact time delays occur. A flight delayed 2 hours and 59 minutes does not qualify for automatic refund. 3 hours and 1 minute does. Airlines know this. They will try to get you rebooked before that threshold. If an airline refuses to process your refund within the required time frame, file a complaint directly with the DOT Aviation Consumer Protection Division. They take these complaints seriously. By the way, if you want all of this information about refunds, delays, cancellations, and your passenger rights organized in one place, I put together something called the Airport Survival Guide. It covers what to say at the counter, how to handle lost luggage, what documentation you need, and the exact steps to get compensation when airlines do not deliver what they promised. Link is pinned in the description if you want to check it out. Let me continue with what else changed. Southwest Airlines is making the biggest shift in its 53-year history. Starting January 27, 2026, Southwest ends open seating. If you have ever flown Southwest, you know how it worked. Check in exactly 24 hours before your flight. Get assigned a boarding position, a 1 through 30, B 1 through 30, C 1 through 30, board in that order. Grab any open seat you want. That system is finished. Southwest now uses assigned seating like every other major carrier. You pick your seat when you book, standard seats, preferred seats near the front, extra legroom seats. Different prices for different options, boarding changes too. Instead of A, B, C groups, Southwest moves to numbered groups 1 through 8. What does this mean for seniors? No more racing to check in at the exact 24-hour mark to secure a good position. No more standing in line hoping to grab an aisle seat. No more walking onto a full plane and scrambling to find 2 seats together if you are traveling with a companion. You book your seat in advance. You know exactly where you are sitting before you reach the airport. Some travelers will appreciate that certainty. Others will miss the flexibility of choosing on the spot. Southwest also ended its famous bags fly free policy for most fares. Basic fares now charge $35 for the first checked bag, $45 for the second. Only higher fare levels still include free bags. These are significant changes from an airline that built its reputation on being different. Now let me cover something critically important for travelers with mobility needs. New federal protections for wheelchair users took effect throughout 2025 and continue phasing in during 2026. Airlines must now provide enhanced training for all employees and contractors who assist passengers with disabilities or handle wheelchairs and scooters. This training must include hands-on demonstrations. Staff must pass competency assessments. Training deadlines hit June 2026. There are stronger rules around what happens when mobility equipment gets damaged. If an airline mishandles your wheelchair or scooter, there is now a legal presumption that they violated federal regulations. The burden shifts to the airline to prove they did not cause the damage. Airlines must provide written notification when you check your wheelchair explaining your rights. They must tell you about complaint resolution officials. They must give you status updates if your equipment is delayed. For passengers who rely on mobility devices, these protections matter enormously. Here is practical advice based on what experienced travelers recommend. Document the condition of your wheelchair before checking it. Take photos from multiple angles. Note any existing scratches or wear. Keep serial numbers handy. If something goes wrong, you want clear evidence of the condition before the airline touched it. Arrive at your gate early. Speak directly with the gate agent about your equipment. Explain any special handling requirements. The more information they have before loading, the better they can protect your device. Attach a luggage tag with your contact information directly to the wheelchair frame. If it gets separated from your flight, they can reach you immediately. If damage occurs, report it before leaving the airport. Fill out a formal damage report. Take photos of the damage right there. Get the names of every employee you speak with. Let me tell you about one more change that catches seniors off guard. Basic economy fares are more restrictive than ever. Airlines keep stripping benefits from their cheapest tickets. Book a basic economy fare, and you might find yourself with no seat selection, no full-sized carry-on bag. Some carriers even block overhead bin access for basic tickets. This causes real problems at the gate. You show up with a carry-on bag that technically fits in the overhead bin, but your ticket class does not allow it. Now you are forced to check that bag for an additional fee. The bag with your medications, your important documents, items you needed with you in the cabin. Read the fine print before booking any ticket. Basic economy is not the same as regular economy. It is a stripped-down product designed for travelers who have nothing but a personal item and zero preferences about seating. If you need to choose your seat, bring a carry-on, or have any flexibility whatsoever, pay for a standard economy fare. The extra cost is worth avoiding the chaos. One more thing worth knowing. Facial recognition technology is expanding at airports. More checkpoints and gates use cameras to verify your identity by scanning your face. Here is what many travelers do not realize. This is optional. You can decline facial recognition and request manual ID verification instead. TSA cannot force you to participate. If you prefer traditional ID checks, simply tell the officer you want to opt out. They must accommodate that request. So let me bring all of this together. 2026 is genuinely different for air travelers. The rules changed across multiple fronts. Real ID enforcement means your old license might not work. Starting February 1st, showing up without proper ID costs $45 and causes major delays. Get a passport card or visit your DMV now. The shoe removal rule ended. Keep your footwear on at security. This is real relief for anyone with mobility challenges. Automatic refunds are now required for significant delays and cancellations. Know your rights. Document everything. Do not accept vouchers when you deserve cash. Southwest switched to assigned seating and started charging bag fees. Book your seat early and check fare details carefully. Wheelchair protections strengthened significantly. Airlines face higher standards and clearer accountability. Basic economy tickets are more restrictive than ever. Read the fine print before booking. None of these changes were widely announced. People are discovering them at airports, often when it is too late to adjust. You now know what most travelers still do not. If this helped you prepare for your next flight, pass it along to someone who needs it. A spouse, a friend, a neighbor planning a trip. Information like this can save a lot of frustration. Hit subscribe if you want to stay informed about what is happening in air travel. New policies, new rights, new ways to make flying easier as we get older. Thanks for being here. Safe travels wherever the next flight takes you.